Hey folks, Judd Zulgad here, 1500 ESPN. Day one of spring training, pitchers and catchers at least for the Minnesota Twins, is complete here. I'm in Fort Myers, more importantly Hammond Stadium. Not too eventful a day, not surprising. As a guy who covered football, I'm used to there being some excitement on the opening day of training camp, maybe a contractual holdout, maybe somebody shows up hurt that you don't expect. Baseball is a little bit different. Now, on Friday, the full squad will report for the Twins. On Saturday will be the first full squad workout. So at that point, we'll find out if there might be a visa problem here or there. Somebody doesn't get here. But so far, everybody, pitchers and catchers-wise, is here. Also, guys starting to come in, some position players, Trevor Plouffe, Joe Benson, Darren Mastriani, etc. Brian Dozier, guys like that are here already. So don't expect any excitement. Today was a low-key day here at Hammond Stadium. About an hour and a half, 2 hours of workouts. We had Rich Harden through a bullpen, Kyle Gibson through a bullpen, Brian Dunsing through a bullpen session. Doug Pelfrey will go tomorrow in the bullpen, but honestly, that's about as much excitement as you're going to get. As I need to get my hand just a little bit out of the way. Sorry about that, trying to get the light just correct here. What we saw a lot of today was what they call PFP, pitchers fielding practice, and at one point, the pitchers were actually working on throwing to first base without a baseball. It's funny, during a baseball broadcast in July, you'll hear talk about day one of spring training and the fundamentals that teams go through. People aren't lying on that, folks. These fundamentals are as basic and as little league as it gets, but they're necessary. So all of that started to get taken care of today. Workouts will continue, pitchers and catchers tomorrow. Then, like I said, everybody reports on Friday. The first full squad practice, full squad workout, I guess you could say, will happen on Saturday here. One thing I want to touch on real briefly, something that Ron Gardenhire brought up, not in a negative light today, was the World Baseball Classic. Joe Mauer and Glenn Perkins will be on Team USA. Drew Butera will compete for Italy, and Justin Morneau will compete for the Canadian team. Now, the World Baseball Classic, it's an interesting deal. This has been going on for a few times now. It's not every year. But basically what it is a tournament, as it says, for the World Baseball Classic. The problem is, I don't know if there's a good time to play it, to be honest with you. They were talking today, Mauer, Morneau, Butera, Perkins will all leave to compete for their various teams for time periods here. And here's what I don't like about it, and here's why I don't know if you can fix it. You know, teams come to spring training to get ready for the season. There's nothing more important than the Major League Baseball season. I understand that world competition in certain sports is important. Baseball's trying to grow its game, and it's also trying to, let's be honest, get more money. But I don't know there's a good time to play this thing. Ideally, you would play it in the middle of the baseball season, and you would shut down the baseball season. But it's not important enough to do that. They're never going to do it, and they shouldn't do it. Hockey, keep in mind, right now the NHL shuts down for a, 2-week period for the Olympics. It makes sense for hockey. It would make no sense for baseball. So, when are you going to play it? Are you going to play it in March like they are now? Are you going to play it right after the season? Players are not going to go for that, and you're not going to play it in the middle of the winter. And if I'm the Twins, and no team's going to come out and say this, and I don't know if you could get fined or not, my guess is you could, but if I'm the Twins, I have no interest in seeing Justin Morneau or Joe Mauer or a Glenn Perkins leave my team. Yeah, it's great they're competing for their country, but they need to be getting ready for the season, and all of a sudden you're going to introduce to them playing in what could be highly competitive games for 2 time periods in March around being at spring training. Spring training is relaxed. It's a time to get ready for the season. It is not high-level competition, and now you're putting guys like Mauer and Morneau, who are very important to this team, in high-level competition. There have been injury concerns about them in the past, and I don't think, if I'm the Twins, I want to have any injury concerns about these guys when they leave my team. And given that the World Baseball Classic certainly can get competitive, there have to be some concerns there. Now, Ron Gardenhire talked today about the fact that he has discussed with U.S. manager Joe Torre the amount of catching that Joe Mauer will do. It sounds like Mauer will catch a little bit, but he will also DH. He will play, but he's not going to catch on a full-time basis. That's good. I don't know if it's enough. And like I said, I get why they play this tournament. I just don't know if there is a good time to play it. Report number 1 is done for me. Zulgad from Fort Myers. Don't forget, Judd and Dubé, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., 1500 ESPN. We will be back on a Thursday. I will be down here for another show, also writing copy for 1500ESPN.com. Check me out there, as well as this video. In fact, if you got to this point, I appreciate the fact that you did watch this video. There will be plenty more of this to come. Have a good day, everybody, and we'll talk soon.